Hey everyone, Yoyston here, and I hope you all are doing well, wherever you are in Middle-earth. So, I've got a quick news update for you all today, something that came out today. Ryan texted it to me earlier, is that we've got some news coming out of Amazon's MMO video game production studio. In that, there have been a lot of layoffs, unfortunately, right? I wish the best for those game developers and the producers of these games. But it looks like Amazon is halting a significant amount of their MMO development, production, even including their current MMOs, such as New World, this MMO that was at the time supposed to change the genre of MMOs and video games altogether. Seems like it fell flat, or that Amazon has been disappointed with how their video games have been doing. And so this is very likely going to affect or even cancel the Lord of the Rings MMO that we were supposed to be getting from Amazon's gaming development studios. What's interesting about this is that a few years back, there had been another Lord of the Rings MMO announced by Amazon. It was going to take place in, I'm trying to remember, either the early Third Age or even the Second Age. Is probably going to feature a lot of the Rings of Power things, or at least mention, both of them coming from Amazon, it would only make sense. And that was canceled. Then we got this news at least a couple years ago that Amazon was going to be developing another Lord of the Rings MMO, and I believe we got an update last year on it in that it was slowly but surely coming our way. Now, Roy and I have actually talked about this a few times on our Western S podcast for our YouTube members and Patreon members, and the fact that we had not really heard any news coming out of the studios, which is not a good sign, right? Usually by this point, a couple years into game development, you would have gotten something, some promo art, maybe a couple teasers, or something indicating, hey, we're making progress, be ready to pre-order, be ready to look into this more, kind of building that excitement and hype. But we really hadn't gotten much of that at all. I was coming to you all a few weeks ago with the idea, and that is still going to be happening, this idea that there's going to be a new Lord of the Rings RPG in the Hogwarts Legacy kind of style. That, as far as I know, is not related to the Amazon project and everything like that. That's still going to happen. But as for this MMO, this has been in development for at least a few years, and likely with Amazon halting its MMO production, we will not see Amazon's Lord of the Rings online, as it were. And, I again, with how many of us, myself included, have responded to Rings of Power, in that, honestly, we haven't quite loved it very much, especially a lot of their creative decisions away from the lore, away from the text. Yeah, I wasn't insanely hyped for another Amazon-led Lord of the Rings project, but I was excited to see another take on a Lord of the Rings MMO RPG. But I want to end this video by giving a shout out and honestly pleading with you all to please check out the Lord of the Rings Online from Standing Stone Games. This game has been out since 2007, and it is my favorite video game of all time. Now, obviously, it is an old game, and many of its mechanics and UI are a little bit dated. It has some issues with lag, right? It's not the perfect game, but to me, it's really close, right? I don't know if Men of the West would exist without the Lord of the Rings Online, as it taught me so much about Tolkien's lore, got me more inspired to get deeper and deeper into all of Tolkien's different writings and subjects. And that's a game that I wish I could play over for the first time again. It is something special, and I would recommend it to anyone looking for a Lord of the Rings experience. If you can get past how dated it is and some of the bugs, and really just jump into that adventure from whether you start in the Shire or Breland or Ered Luin, all the way into Mordor and Minas Morgul and so forth. They're still coming out with expansions. A new one about the kingdoms of Harad is coming out later this year in December. It's an epic adventure. It's very immersive. I feel like I'm in Middle-earth every time I listen to the music from the game and go around and play, do the quests and play as my character Yoist. So many good nostalgic memories playing that game with my dad and my grandparents and my brother and even Royan himself, right? That was a huge part of how he and I became friends years ago. So would highly, highly recommend that. Again, we have so many good Lord of the Rings games already. It's a shame that we won't be getting another one, but yeah, it is what it is. So I just wanted to let you all know about that and kind of report that news. If you ever want to hear more news segments and hear Royan and I discuss it, do please check out our Patreon and our YouTube memberships. Just $1 a month to help out the channel and get more of these kinds of news segments that are locked behind that Patreon wall and everything. Feel free to check that out. And thanks to our Valar Tier patrons and YouTube members, Joby Weasel, Ed Patterson, ComicNut64, Zoomi, and Peter Sheppard. Let me know your thoughts, my friends, on all of this news. Were we looking forward to this? Are we looking forward to the other Lord of the Rings projects and the other Lord of the Rings game that was announced recently? And will you check out the Lord of the Rings Online? Let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments below. My friends, thank you all for joining me on this adventure. Until the next one.